Ready for a deep dive into family secrets? We're really going to unpack this one. We're digging into the Family Twist podcast, specifically an interview with Lezlee. She's an author, and at 47, she found out something huge about her family.
It's like the age of DNA testing is bringing up so much.
Yeah.
Leslie's story. Total not parent expected event. Imagine your whole life, you think you know who your parents are, and bam, it's just not true.
And for years, Lezlee had these questions, these hints dropped by her family like something was off. There's this moment, she's 26, her own father says, "If you only knew." Heavy, right?
Oh, absolutely. That just screams family secret, and it messes with you. But what's interesting with Lezlee, even before this, her family was already unusual. Divorced when she was a baby, raised by her mom and stepdad. But get this, the guy on her birth certificate, not her bio dad, though she still had a relationship with him. It's
So many layers,
Yeah.
and it gets more intense. Lezlee remembers her mom saying, "If you don't stop digging, you'll open wounds and people will bleed." Wow. Talk about pressure to keep quiet.
It's almost like gaslighting, making Lezlee question her own gut feeling. But for 10 years, she pieced it together, talking to family, following leads, and then DNA testing, finally.
And that's what so many are doing now. But it makes you think, when those answers shake up everything you thought about family, then what?
Right. It challenges the whole idea of whose family who we're connected to.
It's like Leslie's search for her biological family wasn't just about facts, was it? It was this deeper thing, this need to connect.
Hmm.
Did you find that?
That's what's so powerful about these NPE stories, the longing. It can really rock your identity and make you search for your tribe, see who you look like, where you come from. But it doesn't always go how you'd hope.
Definitely not. For Lezlee, it's like bittersweet, right? Some family welcomed her, but others, her half-sister even, rejected the whole thing. And the sad part, her biological father, he'd passed away in 2020. She never got to meet him.
It makes you realize it's not just losing a potential relationship, it's losing a past. All those what ifs gone. And for the family who knew the secret all along, like the half sister, that's going to be tough too. Their version of reality is shattered.
Totally. So much buried emotion coming to the surface. But Lezlee, even with the loss, the rejection, she found strength in a surprising place. She started connecting with other NPE people.
Makes sense though, right? Your world's turned upside down. Who understands that better than someone who's lived it? That shared experience, it creates its own kind of family.
Finding that community, people who get it, that's got to be huge.
Yeah.
And what struck me about Lezlee, she never gave up, even with everything.
Oh, totally resilient. Like, imagine going through all that emotionally and coming out wanting to help others. That's Lezlee. Remember, she said, "We don't get over this. Why are you asking me why I want to know? Wouldn't you want to know if this were you?" It's like this deep human need to know where we come from.
Makes you think all these DNA discoveries, they're changing how we even think about family.
Exactly. Like, what is family anymore? Blood only? Or is it more about, I don't know, choices, connections we make ourselves? Big questions now, especially with DNA becoming so common.
Lezlee seemed to find her own way with it. Even reconnected with cousins she hadn't seen in years, focusing on the good connections, right? And she said something like, "It doesn't get easier, but it doesn't mean we're not better people for going through it. It's how we deal with it."
Such a good point. NPE or not, we all face tough stuff in families. It's like, how do we deal? Can we have empathy, be understanding, even when it's hard?
So much to think about. As we finish up this deep dive into Leslie's story, what really stayed with you? What hit home?
Maybe it even sparks some questions for you about the future of family. With DNA becoming so normal, how will we handle it? Where's the compassion? It's a conversation just getting started.
Definitely a lot to unpack there. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into family secrets and DNA surprises. Until next time, keep asking those tough questions and remember, your story matters.